In this video, I want to show how you can record your system audio on your Mac under Yosemite, which is the current or the most current version of Mac OS 10. When I'm recording this, it's 10.10.3. And not only record your system audio, but mix in an external microphone too, and only do it with free software and QuickTime. So you don't have to spend any money, and it works pretty reliably too. So we'll go into the details, but I just want to get right into it. And it's a little details, so I'm going to go a little slowly so that you can follow along and you can rewind the video if you need to. But I'll try and make this as clear as possible. So the first thing you're going to want to do is to go to this website, rogueamoeba.com. And it's hopefully if you can see it. If not, the description will be below in the video. In the description, I mean. The description will be in the description. So what you're going to want to do is go to this website. Rogue Amoeba is a great little company. They've been around for a number of years. They make some really awesome audio software for the Mac. So what we're going to want to do is go to freebies, and if their website changes in the future, find freebies. If not, search Google on the two following applications. You'll find it. So click on freebies. Okay. So the two things that we want on this page, the first one is this application called LineIn. And I'll talk about that in a couple minutes. Second one that really glues this whole thing together is this open source project called Soundflower. Soundflower has been around for a number of years. It's always been an open source project. And as of now, Rogue Amoeba, as a company, is maintaining Soundflower for the Mac community. So this is really good news. So when things change in the future, they'll be there to help update it and make sure it doesn't go away. So the second thing we're going to want to do now is to download these two applications. So for LineIn here, click Download Now, and that will just go ahead and save. Now the second thing you want to do is go down to Soundflower, click Learn More. You can read this text. This is a link to the open source project on GitHub if you're interested in that. But the thing that we want to do right now is just to download Soundflower. Just go ahead and click on that. And we'll just give that a few seconds to download. There you go. Okay. So that's all we need from them. So the next thing we're going to want to do is go to your downloads folder here and click on Open in Finder. Okay. So the first thing we want to do is go ahead and double-click on the linein.zip. We'll come back to Soundflower in just a minute. The first thing we want to do, though, is go ahead and double-click on linein.zip, and that'll create the application. Now, do this because it's very important. You have to have 2 copies of LineIn in order for this to work. So the way to do this is on your keyboard, do Command D. What that'll do is create a copy of it. It'll duplicate it. And what I'm going to do is just click on it, and I'm going to rename it to LineIn 2. Now the other way to duplicate a file is if you right-click on the file, and you can choose Duplicate from here. Okay. So at this point, we have these 2 copies, and we'll come back to that in a moment. Now, what you're going to want to do is highlight these and then drag these to the applications directory on the left, and then just let go. Now, what you're seeing here, this thing that pops up, is only because I already have LineIn and LineIn 2 in my applications directory. That's what I'm using to record this video. You won't see this. For you, they'll just copy over, and you'll be going, why am I still talking about this? So let's move on. So the next thing we need to do is a little more complicated. So go back down to your dock, click on Downloads, and go to Open in Finder. Now you're going to want to, let's pretend that these are gone now because you've moved them. Let's not confuse. Right? You move the line in and line 2 are now in applications. So I'm deleting them so that they don't confuse you. Now, the next thing you're going to do is double click on soundflower.zip. And what this is going to do is to create the Soundflower 1.6. Whatever b.dmg. This is the installer. Now, the version number will be different for you in the future as Soundflower is maintained and new versions come out over time. That's fine. So what you're going to want to do, double click on the DMG, and it'll open a folder like this. And you're going to want to look for soundflower.pkg. And now this is where, for most people, something scary is going to probably happen. You're going to see a message like this. It's basically Apple going, you're trying to open something that we have no idea what it is. Be very afraid, which is actually a really good warning. But it's okay. Soundflower is a perfectly fine package. It's open source. You can verify it. Rogue Amoeba is reputable. It's fine. And I'm going to show you how to get past this. It's really super easy. So go ahead and click OK on this. Go to your top left of your window. Click on the Apple menu. And click on System Preferences. And then go here to Security and Privacy, which is this. Now, if you can't see security and privacy, just type in the word security in the little menu thing up here, and security and privacy will be highlighted. So you can just click on that. Now, ignore all this other stuff for a second, but basically what you want to look is at here at the bottom, you're going to see a message like this, soundflower.pkg was blocked from opening because it was not from an identified developer. That's fine. Just go ahead and click this button open anyway, and that's fine. That just is you telling macOS, hey, I trust this thing. I know what I'm doing. You may get another message like this, and again, the certificates. This is about security and how Apple signs applications to keep us safe. That's fine. Go ahead and click continue if you see this. All right, so moving on real quick. So now what we're going to want to do, go ahead and click continue. You can read through this information if you want. Continue again. Choose your language if you want something different. Wait, no, you only have English. Sorry, other folks. It's English only. Agree to this and install. Okay, and then you're going to want to put in your password. And I need to remember to blur out my name there. Okay. And once you're done, you're going to want to restart. So we'll click installation. And I'm just going to, when you do this, go ahead and let it restart. In my case, I'm not because I already have it going. So I might skip forward. I probably shouldn't have installed this again. All right, I'm going to cut all this part out. That's fine. Okay, so at this point, what you're going to want to do is to click restart. I'm not going to do it because then my video would stop. So go ahead and close this out. No, I don't want to do that. Hold on, I'm going to just close this thing. Force quit. Okay, thank you. Okay, so now we can close this. And now is where we actually get to configuring things. So for your installation at this point, you've installed Soundflower and your system has restarted, and now you are rewatching this video to find out what to do next. So the next part of this is fairly straightforward, but there's a variety of steps that have to be done. So I'm going to do this very methodically, so just follow along. So hold on your keyboard, hold the Option key. It's also the Alt Option key, right next to the Command key. And what you're going to want to do is hold that down and click on your sound menu. So normally this is your volume menu, but if you hold the Option key, you get some additional options. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is under Output Device, you're going to have these two options for Soundflower. Go ahead and select Soundflower 64 channel. Okay? Now, you're going to hold down Option, click on Sound again, and you're going to go to the bottom under the Input Device, and you're going to set this to whatever your audio recording device is. In my case, I have a Blue Yeti microphone as my external mic. Yours might look different, or you might just have the internal microphone built into your Mac. So whatever one you want to do is choose whatever your sound input device is, but do not choose Soundflower 2 or 64 for input device. Choose one of your audio inputs. So in my case, it's already set. It's Blue USB audio. Okay. Now, the next thing we're going to do is, and I forgot to mention this before, I'm sorry, is that when we installed Soundflower a minute ago, it added this icon, this little flower icon into the file menu, or into the top menu, top bar. And if you click on that, you see that there are these options for Soundflower 2 channel and Soundflower 64 channel. So basically what Soundflower does is it creates these basically software audio devices, which allows us to route audio into the device and out of the device, almost as if it was a piece of actual hardware that was plugged into your Mac. And so all of what we're doing with the configuration is routing audio, and I'll go into some depth about that at the very end. It's not pertinent now. So under Soundflower, what you want to do is under 2 channel is set none for off. Okay. Then after you've done that, just click on the sound menu again. Go to Soundflower 64, and this is really important. Set this to built-in output. And we'll talk about actually what's going on here in just a moment. I just want to get through this for you. Okay. Now, the next thing that we have to do is we have to open both of those LineIn apps. Okay? So I already have mine open. So the way you would do that on yours, you could do it through Spotlight. You could do LineIn. I think you could even do LineIn 2. Yep. So you could do like LineIn, and then you could do LineIn 2. Okay. And that would open both of them. Otherwise, you can just go to your applications directory here, and you can look for the LineIn apps, which are like LineIn 1 and 2 there, and you can open them from the applications directory. So what you're going to want to do is the next step is it's kind of helpful. You don't have to, but it's kind of helpful if you just line up your LineIn windows. In your left LineIn window, set the input from to Soundflower 64 channel. Set the output to Soundflower 2 channel. You do that from the drop-down menus over here. And then when you've done that, click the play through button. In the second LineIn app on the right, set the input from your audio source. This is going to be the same audio source that you used here. See? So these two should match. Your input device should also be the input device for the second LineIn window. And then set the output to Soundflower 2 channel. And kind of take a notice of this. We have output to Soundflower 2 channel and output to Soundflower 2 channel from both of these applications. And this is pretty important. And then the last step on this, of course, is click play through on this. And now if your microphone is already hooked up, you can start talking into it and you'll start seeing the waveforms from the audio input. And that's actually all of the configuration that we have to do. So the last thing to actually get to where we're recording is opening up Quicktime. Now I have Quicktime here. This is the one that's actually recording the screen right now. So if you open up QuickTime Player, under the File menu, you have these three options. You have New Movie Recording, New Audio Recording, and New Screen Recording. New Screen Recording for me is gray because I'm recording a screen right now. So we can, it's okay. Just for the sake of the demonstration, let's do a new audio recording. So the last thing, the second to last thing you have to do is click this little arrow to the right of the record button. And at this point, you should be seeing your audio coming in kind of like I'm doing. And if you're doing a screen recording option, it'll look exactly the same. So the last thing you want to do here is to click the drop-down menu, the little arrow next to the record button, and then set this to Soundflower 2 channel, right? And then click it again, click the arrow again, and then set your quality to max. It may not be as important, but I figure if you're recording audio for a presentation or something like that, use the best audio quality you can get. So that's it. At this point, you should be able to just click record, whether it's audio or... Actually, I think that'll work. Yeah, if I do audio. So now I'm actually recording the audio that I'm speaking right now. In fact, let's do something. Let's go to YouTube and let's look up a great song. I don't know, some female trance that I've been listening to. Okay, now that's playing. Okay. Yeah, that's really terrible music, boy. But let's go back. And let's find out how food science works. This is a great podcast.
Hey gang, it's Will from Tested. I'm at Chef Steps with Grant. Again, hello sir. Hi.
Okay, so from that, let's go back to the audio recording, hit stop, and play. That'll work, yeah, if I do audio. So now I'm actually recording the audio that I'm speaking right now. In fact, let's do something. Let's go to YouTube and let's look up a great song. I don't know, some female trance that I've been listening to. Okay, now that's playing. Okay. Yeah, that's really terrible music, boy. But let's go back. And let's find out how food science works. This is a great podcast.
Hey gang, it's Will from Tested. I'm at Chef Steps with Grant. Again, hello sir. Hi.
Okay, so that's the point, is like, even while I'm actually recording this screen, recording the screen recording, totally makes sense. I was able to record another audio track on top of that. So it's a really powerful way to do it. So that's it. I'm going to have detailed and step-by-step instructions in the description. I know that these videos tend to go on a little bit longer, but that's that. So let me go into some extra detail about actually what's going on here. If you're not interested, you can just close the video and hey, thanks for stopping by. So what is happening is we're basically building an audio pipeline, and you have to think about it as a series of inputs and outputs, okay? So if we go to the sound preference, system preference here, or the top hit, that would have worked. This is also how you can set these same settings by option clicking on sound. You can also set those here. So like I was saying, basically what we're doing is setting up a chain of audio devices. So your input Let's start with sound input. So this is for the system, right? So here I'm setting my system input, audio input is my Blue Yeti. Fine, totally makes sense. Now when you go to output, you wonder, okay, so why do I have the output going to Soundflower 64? So what Soundflower has done is created, like I said a minute ago, it's created these two virtual audio devices on the Mac. So in addition to our headphones and the headphones, so these are all hardware devices that are connected to my Mac or even built into the Mac, right? The headphone port and stuff like that. So Soundflower 2 and 64 are just two additional interfaces that, as far as a Mac is concerned, are just more audio equipment that it can use, right? So what we're doing with the output is this: we're sending the system audio to 64 channel. And then what we're doing is, let's go back to the LineIn apps, all right? So then what we're doing is, with the LineIn application on the left, is we're passing the audio from the 64-chan device to the 2-chan device, the Soundflower 2-chan device, these virtual audio devices. Then the second LineIn app, we're passing the audio from the microphone, my Blue Yeti, into the Soundflower 2-channel. And so what is happening is that those two audio sources are being mixed together into Soundflower 2-channel, so that when we go to create like a recording, we're setting the source of the audio recording to the 2-channel, because the source of the system audio is being sent to 64, and 64 is being sent to 2, and my microphone is being sent to 2, and they're being mixed together. And then on the audio recording, we are setting our input for the audio recording to 2-channel as well, so that the output of those two audio sources, both from the system and from the microphone being mixed together, are what are actually going into the recording, the screen recording too. Add one thing, and it's kind of important, and that's how is it that you are able to record your microphone but not hear it coming back out in your headphones? For example, I'm sitting here right now as I'm recording this, and I'm not hearing myself echoed back. And the reason why, it's actually, I covered this step, but I forgot to explain what's happening, is that when you click on the Soundflower menu, what these options mean is these are the outputs of Soundflower. So if you look under the system preferences at the Soundflower 2 and Soundflower 64 devices, with the inputs, we're basically saying output the sound from the system into Soundflower 64. Okay, that makes sense. Soundflower 2 and Soundflower 64 both have to have inputs, and their inputs are the outputs of the system, which is what we're doing here. So when you look at the drop-down menu, these are the outputs of Soundflower, right? So you could have, for example, Soundflower 2, since that's our mixing device, you could have this output back to built-in output, and then we would hear it like that. Wow. Okay. Sorry, that took a second. I had to take my headset out. I had to take my headphones out because that buzzing was so loud in my ears. One of the early warnings was Soundflower is really good, but it sometimes can do things that crosses the streams, and that was one of them. So that's why the settings I showed you in this video are they work really well. But when you start experimenting, be prepared to yank headphones out real quick if you're using those. But just to wrap the rest of that up, was basically that in this case, we don't want the mixing device for 2-channel to actually play anything. And the way that we get the output of the system sounds into our ears is here on the Soundflower 64 channel. We set that to built-in output, and basically what that means is since we're piping the system audio into 64, we're then outputting the system audio back into the built-in output, which is whatever you have plugged into your Mac. Could be the built-in speakers or a pair of headphones or whatever else you have. So that's it. I really hope that this was straightforward enough. I know it's a little long, but I hope it was clear. And I know that because I did this too, I spent a lot of time researching and especially watching some older videos because like Soundflower has been around for a long time. What was I saying? It's been around for a long time, and so there's a lot of older videos, and it's going to be hard for people to find like this updated video for a while, if at all. But hopefully it will help out and kind of bring these steps up to date, but it also explain what's going on. So in the future, because software changes all the time, and hopefully in the future, in a few years, when other people have this same question, this will either help them. This video will hopefully either help them or maybe provide the inspiration for another video, like an up-to-date video in a few years that someone else makes to help everybody out again. So, like I said, I hope the video was very helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I will be happy to try and answer them. And if there are any mistakes, please point those out, and I will do my best to correct those too. I also recommend, again, I have no association with Rogue Amoeba. Check out their products. They're pretty awesome. And if you really are interested in, if you're a programmer like I am, feel free to take a look at the Soundflower repo on GitHub and take a look, build it yourself, use the code if you need to in one of your own projects. That's what it's there for. And that is about all I've got. And I really appreciate you watching this far if you made it. And good luck.